Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. Mombasa Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway connects the Kenyan capital to its primary seaport and has plans to expand deeper into the heart of Africa, as far as Uganda and possibly one day even the Congo. My article over the weekend was about Safaricom and specifically about M-Pesa, which I called the jewel in Safaricom's crown. Safaricom reported full-year earnings last Friday. The centrality of Safaricom in the lives of Kenyans and to the Nairobi Securities Exchange cannot be gainsaid. Safaricom represents around 47.9% of the NSE's total value of $23.304 billion. Bob Collymore has presided over a more than 400% increase in the share price during his tenure, and if you care to roll in the dividend payments over that period, the return is juiced further. The total return of the share price over the period of his tenure ranks in the top percentile worldwide. This year, the share price is plus 31%, only 9 percentage points behind Bitcoin, which has flown off the charts in 2019 and is plus 40%. Now, conversely, if you strip Safaricom out of the Nairobi Securities Exchange indices, the performance would be woeful. Therefore, the earnings release is a very big deal. Safaricom reported a 7% increase in full-year service revenue, which clocked $240.3 billion. Voice remains the single biggest revenue line item, $95.94 billion, and expanded 0.3%. whilst prices dropped 10% year on year. Voice was pronounced dead many years ago, but for Safaricom, the demographic dividend has underpinned Voice. Safaricom added 2.3 million customers in the full year, plus 58% compared to the previous year. For Bashir and Bouteflika, the youthquake was a terminator. For Safaricom, it is a rising tide. This remains a mature business, but Safaricom have proven skilled at working the angles. SMS revenue declined 1.3% to $17.5 billion. Full-year mobile data revenue grew 6.4% to $38.69 billion. During this reporting period, the average rate per megabyte reduced 42%. Safaricom absorbed the GOK-related increases and turbocharged consumption. This is exactly the correct strategy. I recall a conversation about the take-up of smartphones a number of years ago, and Bob Collymore told me then that one of the issues is that if you have not experienced a fast internet, you really don't know what you're missing. Millions of Kenyans are now hooked to the 21st century and the information superhighway, and it's very difficult to dump a Ferrari for a Pro Box once you've driven the Ferrari. The curve will turn hockey stick, make no mistake about that. The real earnings outlier was M-Pesa. Full-year M-Pesa revenue surged 19.2% to reach $74.99 billion. In November of last year, I wrote this in The Star. At the half-year mark, M-Pesa revenue surged 18.2%. and it looks like it's on the cusp of a hockey stick-like breakout. Safaricom have tweaked the M-Pesa ecosystem with good effect. They've made the M-Pesa garden richer. The average user is transacting 12 times a month and have increased retention and circulation in the ecosystem. This is a very big deal. Safaricom said the growth in M-Pesa has been driven by an increased number of users, higher velocity of funds within the ecosystem, and adoption of new use cases. M-Pesa now accounts for 31.2% of service revenue. M-Pesa contributed 75% of Safaricom's year-on-year growth. Bob Collymore told the Financial Times' Tom Wilson, "If you strip out M-Pesa's performance, you will see that our underlying growth as a telco is only about 2.4%. M-Pesa is the jewel in the Safaricom crown and is blitz-scaled. Of course, I think mobile data will also become as valuable a jewel. And Safaricom's premium is a direct consequence of the value being placed on this earnings curve. Safaricom have continued to fine-tune the M-Pesa ecosystem under Sitoyo to good effect, with the latest innovation Felisa, the world's first contextual mobile money overdraft facility, going great guns and providing further confirmation the M-Pesa platform economy is a part of the genre of platform economies like Uber and the like. Safaricom predicted that within 3 years, its pioneering digital payments business M-Pesa will generate more revenue than all other parts of the business combined. Bloomberg reported Vodacom and Safaricom plan to take over the intellectual property rights for M-Pesa, the main mobile money product, from Vodafone Group plc, and roll out the service to other African nations. If Safaricom can replicate the ubiquity of M-Pesa in other markets, we will have to steepen the earnings curve further. In Ethiopia, Safaricom is already providing state-owned Ethiotel with fiber connectivity, call termination, and airtime advance for customers. And the partnership has the potential to be expanded. We are looking at a broader relationship with Ethiotel, he said without giving details. No agreements have been signed yet, but we are hopeful about signing something this year. Given the importance of M-Pesa, it points to someone who really understands the fintech business as a possible successor, Bob Collymore told Tom Wilson. The dividend payout was $1.25 plus 13.636% and a special dividend of 62 cents. And as I said, the balance sheet is seriously bulletproof. Interestingly, Bob was asked about Huawei and said Safaricom's policy is not going to be driven by President Trump's foreign policy. The link is there for any share price data or results-related information you might require. 2.3 million new customers. M-Pesa accounts for 31.2% of service revenue, accounted for 75% of the growth for the full year. However, Bloomberg is reporting Tracy Kivunyu, a senior analyst with Telema Markets, who said the guidance for 2019-2020 earnings is weak. That's worrying. They always start low and then upgrade. Bob Collymore is set to leave Safaricom after nearly a decade. Have a look at some of his achievements. This is from Prime Securities. The Nairobi All Shares up 14.07%. The NSE 20 is down 1.22%. First Solar says company's unit has entered a term loan agreement with MUFG Bank, Societe Generale and Mizuho Bank. KenGen is to invest $57 million in its first solar plant. It is probably the most impactful wildlife image of my career. That's David Yarrow. Very interesting response in this fight between Northern Rangelands Trust and the Borana Council of Elders and the Waso Professionals Forum. Do have a read of that. Some quite interesting claims and counterclaims. One of which is that each tourist visiting the Conservancy should pay as much as $1 million shillings into the Conservancy kitty. There's no tourist who's going to pay that. And apparently there are no tourist facilities in Biliko Bulesa Conservancy. I came across these photographs by David Chancellor of the Northern Rangelands Trust area. And it's got this wonderful, I love those doom palms in particular. And let me leave you finally with an interview I did with Dr. Ernest Murithi of GEMS, talking about the education opportunity here in Kenya and Africa. Thank you for stopping by.